All right. Anyways, welcome back to our podcast called Difficult-ish.
I say okay anyways. Like we just started.
A podcast about different South Asian narratives. I'm your co-host, Mahua Khan.
I'm your co-host, Masha Munir.
And today we are talking about our beautiful mother tongue. You know, whether that is Bangla for you, Hindi, Urdu, whatever your mother tongue is, we are going to talk about learning the language while you are living in the West, how we learned it, but then also our struggles / experience trying to like maintain the language because, you know, secret's out, we're not that fluent. We try our best with Bangla.
I'm practically perfect.
Let's not lie. We're lying already.
You guys want to see my Bangla?
All right, yeah. So we're not fluent, right? But we try our best. But because we try our best, we get made fun of sometimes, right? I got roasted so many times for trying my best on the internet. You guys are so mean. But anyways, we want to talk about just the importance of maintaining your mother tongue, but also how hard it is to maintain it, especially living in America, and how we plan to, you know, bring it to the next generation.
That's a good one. That's a good intro. Good intro. I like that intro.
You like that one?
Yeah, you snap.
All right. Anyway, so if you guys didn't know, I'm a little bit. I'm a little bit upset with Bashun today. Today the energy might be a little bit off. Yeah, I'm like haha hee with you guys. This man, he's something sometimes.
What the hell did I do?
So like this man, first of all, I got like he helped me like pick something up today, right? Or the other day. Tell me why I see a note from that pickup, like a little card made for me, on the floor while I was coming into my apartment. And the thing is, like, he didn't even tell me that I got something, right? Like, the least you could have done is like, oh, like, you got a note, like, I'll give it to you in a little bit, right? I didn't even know about it. Tell me why when I'm coming upstairs in the elevator, I see the note on the floor.
I have things to say, but, you know, we don't gotta get into it.
What are the things you gotta say?
No, it's okay. I honestly don't even know how that got there.
All right, well, that's the problem.
I don't know how that got there.
All right, well, this is just like your little like mini reminder that sometimes, you know, we're joking and we're having fun in the pod and we're besties, but we fight sometimes.
Okay.
We have arguments.
I never
sometimes.
fight with her. I don't like to fight with her.
We have like
I never win.
Our realistic moments. What'd you say?
I could never win a fight with her.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's always right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
As long as you guys know, and I know that.
I asked her if she had an intro for the pod. She's like, yeah, I got one. I didn't know it was this.
I had to bring it up.
Okay.
Anyway,
anything else you gotta let off your chest?
Anything else you gotta say?
Anything? No, not really.
Right.
Yeah, you ready to start?
What's your drink of choice today?
Are we good?
What's your drink of choice today?
We're not good?
I mean, we tried dancing it out before the episode. He tried to do this thing where like he offered me food and like we tried dancing it out, which like it made it better. Also, he got me like these sunflower earrings. Yeah. From like a local store in Queens, like a little like table, you know, those cute little like Latin woman. He got it from those. Yeah. And like I'm a little bit better. Like I'm trying to think of the good moments to try to push me through the day. But you know, at the end of the day, he's still a little bit irritating.
Anyways, I'm drinking some Alani.
Alani.
What
flavor we got?
Some tutti peach.
Some peach. A little mini one.
Say tutti peach. That's how you say it.
Juicy peach.
Tutti peach.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we won't stop stalling. We won't keep stalling, y'all. Welcome back to our podcast. Today we're gonna talk about the mother tongue. Mother tongue.
If you guys haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure you like the video if you're watching. Make sure to rate and review if you're listening. Make sure to follow the gram at Difficult-ish. Follow the TikTok at Difficult-ish Podcast.
New Labyrinth Ave collection out soon. Yeah. Soon. It's coming.
Yeah. Pictures are being edited as we speak.
It's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's up? Ami holo Bangali.
Oh God, please. That was a jump scare for real.
Y'all know I got that in me. Ami holo.
Please.
Bangali.
Can you actually say it in the normal way of how you would say it?
I swear to God, that's how.
No, you wouldn't say it like that.
Would.
I'm you holo Bangali. Like, why is there so much emphasis?
Right. This is how we're gonna start.
Okay.
I speak such bad Bangla.
No, you try.
I speak such bad Bangla.
It's in there, and you.
Can I start?
Yeah.
I speak such bad Bangla, and it makes me sad, because my whole life I have been criticized, ridiculed, bullied by my sister growing up. Now you,
Hey.
Even goddamn
Hey.
even like her aunt roasted me.
Hey. It's your upbringing, okay? We'll get into it, but your upbringing is completely different than most.
I remember when I was in Bangladesh, like I met someone, like one of my mom's relatives, and like she talks very fast, and she came up to me like, oh, like blah blah blah.
Like, how are you in Bangla?
Yeah, and like she said more than that, and I think she said something that I didn't like really understand, and like I responded in Bangla, and she like, you know how like aunties like whisper, but it's not whispering.
Yeah.
She like turned to my mom, and she was like, oh, Bangla bujana, Bangla jana. I was like, yo, I know Bangla, I know Bangla. Yeah. She like turned to my mom, she like, oh, bujana, huh?
But that's the thing, like you didn't grow up in an area where there were many Bengali speakers.
Right.
Like you should give yourself some grace.
Yeah.
You know? So let's talk about our little upbringing. Okay. So for me, I grew up in New York my whole life. Can you put down the water bottle? Because the water bottle is making a lot of noise. So I grew up in New York, right? Specifically, I grew up in Queens. And we know Queens Jacksonites, okay? That's where I was born. Okay, you don't have to give me the side eye. I get it. I'm from Long Island. Okay. Anyway.
As long as you know.
So since I grew up in the hub of Little Bangladesh, and also I grew up in a house full of family members that spoke in Bangla. It was not just my parents. You know, my grandma lived with us, my grandpa lived with us, uncles, aunt, whatever. And on top of that, we had our Bangladeshi community that we would always like shop in and just like congregate in, right? So because of that, I was always around Bengali culture, you know?
Yeah.
And our house was filled with like music, Bengali music. We watched so many Bangla movies. We speak predominantly just Bangla in the house. And because of that, I believe that Bangla was my first language that I learned, right? Because I was like actually immersed in the culture, right? And then on top of that, my mom put us in like dancing, like Bengali dancing, music, where we learned like Bangla songs. So we learned how to play the harmonium, we learned how to sing, and then like artistic, creative, cultural classes like that, right? And then we also attended like the Pahela Boishak, which is like the Bengali New Year festivals. We attended different Eid type of things at different houses and events. So we were always around like culture, you know? And I think we learned it at such a young age because we were around so many Bengali people. And also we didn't have like any other choice. You know, people in our house just spoke Bangla for the most part. We knew we were going to eventually learn English in school. And that was like our form of communication, you know? So I personally never went to like any Bangla classes. So me and my brother, we know how to speak in Bangla and we understand Bangla, but we can't read and write in Bangla, right?
Yeah, a lot of our age people can.
Yeah. I feel like we learned like specific words, small words when we were little. We were trying to learn it, but it just never stuck with us, and obviously like we never really practiced beyond that. Yeah. Like we would know how to like, you know, understand some of the words from the Bengali newspaper, but beyond that we never like actually caught on to it, which I kind of regret. I wish I did know how to like write and read in Bangla.
We all
do.
Know? Yeah. Do you remember like early like elementary school or like early like from like 5 to 12 or something where you like speaking Bangla in like school or with your friends or anything? Yeah,
I was definitely speaking some sort of Bangla, and like also, you know how immigrant parents, they sometimes teach you English words that aren't actual words.
Right.
In
Drop
English.
some.
Like polythene bag. Polythene. Instead of like plastic.
Okay.
I learned about caca instead of like poop.
Yeah.
You know, I learned about
I told you the story how like in like
Vaseline instead of Vaseline.
Vaseline. That's different.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that one before.
What's your story?
I like that one. How like in second grade, like I pooped my pants, right? And like I told the teacher like hagu kursi, like I didn't like, because like I was like already so scared, you know.
You were so little.
Anyways, yeah, I think that's important. Like when you're young, to have people to speak Bangla to and stuff. Like when I got older in high school and like when I was like 16, 17, 18, I started having like a couple more Bengali friends to like speak Bangla with, but like early on I did not have nobody. Like me and my sister only spoke English, and then like I only spoke Bangla with my mom, but she never made it like a you have to learn this. It was just like she just spoke it, and I feel like I was never taught either. Where I mean, obviously like kids are not like sat down and taught Bangla. They're
Yeah.
just like spoken to in Bangla. But yeah, man, I had like that community like that. The only person I had that spoke Bangla was like my Arabic teacher who lived in my neighborhood. She spoke Bangla, but she was very mean and she never like like you know, I just honestly never really
It was just
even
like
know what she was saying.
reprimanding.
Yeah, I didn't
Bangla.
even know what she was saying. She was just talking and
Are you traumatized? Are you okay?
Nah, and so yeah, like I didn't speak a lot of Bangla. It makes me sad because
Yeah.
my Bangla is so evidently bad, and I'm so embarrassed
You're
of it. And,
trying
like,
though.
and it's like, yeah, I
I
don't
feel
know.
like you've grown a lot since I've met you.
I have. That's
Like your
we'll get
Bangla
it.
has-
We'll get into that. We're staying on
Yeah.
like the growing up, but yeah, man, growing up with like your people is very important. Very important.
But
for
you
that.
grew up in the Bronx where there were a lot of Bengali people, and then you eventually moved to Florida when you were like 5, 6.
Yeah,
What was the shift in like community?
I don't remember. I was 5 years old, bro. And I mean, at that time, there weren't really any Bengali people in the Bronx. We were deep in the Bronx. We were like in our area. There were no Bengali people. Like there were some families that, and obviously now, like super out east, like at like the end of the 6th train, there's a lot of Bengali families out there now, and, like a lot of Bengali stores and stuff. But at that time, there were like none. So like whatever memory I have, I don't remember any Bengali people. Like the closest people that we had was like there was a Bengali family above us, and across like on the other apartment complex that like we faced, there was like this white family that my parents were really cool with. That's like the only people that I remember. But yeah, not a lot of Bengali people. Then we went to Florida, and it was like if there was little in Bronx, there was none in Florida. So yeah, I remember like early on in like elementary school, like I was always the only Bengali kid. Like always in middle school, only the Bengali kid. There were some Indians, whatever, and like especially high school. High school, there were some more Bengali people, but I just wasn't cool with them and stuff.
But I think it's also like a survival mindset, right? Like you and your family moved from the Bronx to Florida at such an early age for you, and like your parents were just trying to survive, and they were trying to help you like survive, you know. Their first intention wasn't like, oh, let me teach my kids Bangla, right? They were just trying to like put food on the table and like acclimate to their own community. And it's a hard move, obviously, coming from Bangladesh to New York, but then also moving from New York to Florida, you know.
Yeah, especially like early on, like the first like 10 years of my life, like my family, it was tough. Like there was like a lot of stuff happening, and like yeah, obviously like family first, but there was like a lot of like real life stuff happening to where like they didn't have too much time to like sit down and be like, oh, like we got to make sure to teach him this and teach him that and put him in this. And obviously my mom did, like she did more than enough for me when I was growing up. But yeah, there was like you said, like when real life kicks in, like you gotta worry about like what are like the real priorities. A lot of time, like these things that we want our kids to have, like it could slip through the cracks, and like 2-3 years could pass by and realize like, oh, like I didn't put my kid in Bangla class or like Bangla dance classes or something like that. And like because you know you were too busy trying to put money into like this one thing, you know. So like I get it, like that type of stuff could slip through the cracks. And
it's also hard to like learn Bangla and also feel like you have a community if you don't have a community around you, you know. Like if you grew up in an area without that many Bengali people, it's hard to like learn from that and embrace your culture because you don't have that, you know.
And you learn from speaking it, you know. Like that's you can only talk to your parents like when you get home. You're at school for half your life growing up, you know, like half your day is around other people other than your parents. And you know, for a lot of us, like we'll come home, parents are working and parents are busy. We can't just sit down and talk to them all the time. Like we'll like exchange some words at nighttime, and like how are you gonna retain your Bangla tongue, like doing that type of stuff, you know. So
but you're starting to grow on your Bangla. How do you feel?
I'm getting Akon.
Oh, we're thinking in Bangla. We're translating.
Nowadays, Akon. Mbalo asi.
Yeah.
Mbalo asi. But you know, like I think, I've always kind of known words, but it's like the pronunciation that I can never get down. Like so, like one thing I've always sucked at is like like BH, like balo, like like
yeah,
say
you
it,
have
say
an
it,
accent.
say it.
Balo.
I can't do that. like what's the capital of Bangladesh?
Dhaka.
I can't say it like that.
Yeah, he says Dhaka.
I say Dhaka.
Yeah.
Dhaka. Like I
like
hate
the
that.
rolling R.
I hate
translation in Spanish.
Yeah, like I hate that. And like I feel like I can say Spanish words quite well, but I just can't say Bangla words. And that's where people will start making fun of me because like I don't know the words. I just sound stupid.
But I think that's also the problem, right? Like for our parents or any person that immigrates to America or whatever other country, they know how to say the word in their home language, like their mother tongue, but it's hard to translate it on the spot into the new language that they learned in their adult years, right? But it's like, so then we start making up our own language, which is like Banglish, a mix of English and Bangla, whereas like, you know, Spanglish is a thing and like different combos are a thing. But it's hard if you're multilingual or like bilingual to like translate it on the spot, you know? And then some people think that you're uneducated if you aren't able to like just code switch or like switch that language right away. But you're not uneducated. You friggin' know multiple languages. It's just hard to like do it on the spot.
Yeah.
You know, like I was watching Modern Family, and you guys know Sofia Vergara from the show, right? The iconic Gloria.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Gloria.
she married a white man in the show, and basically she was saying how it's so hard for her as a Spanish native speaker to constantly translate everything into English, and how like everyone in the family expects her to like have perfect English, but no one expects them to learn Spanish for her, you know? And it's difficult to, you know, constantly just like switch everything in your mind to like make it more acceptable in America or whatever else country you're in, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, my Bangla is I would say like moderate, you know? I would say that like,
yeah, you straight.
Yeah, I'm like all right.
She's cool.
My brother is definitely a lot better than me.
Yeah, which is so funny.
Which is crazy because he's younger than me. But he's just like better, I guess, at like just saying the word. It's so funny because like I feel like I'm pretty good at Bangla. Like again, sometimes it's hard for me to like translate directly into English or translate directly into Bangla from English. But like when I go to Bangladesh and I try to speak in Bangla, I'm like,
they know off
stupid.
the bat. They know off the bat.
No, I'm like dumb.
You forget because you get shy because you know it's
because you're not as fluent.
Yeah.
And like I remember I went to the schools in Bangladesh for you know, the students that we were providing scholarships for, and I was trying to speak in Bangla to a class full of 3rd, 4th graders.
Oh yeah, that's
in just like Bangla.
Yeah, that's tough.
But I was like getting tripped up because I didn't know the specific words for like some things that I would just like translate into English. And the teacher was just like, oh, like Bangla was he was like, oh, like she doesn't know how to speak in Bangla. Like, and it was like so overwhelming because like these kids were looking at me, just staring at me trying to speak in Bangla. The headmaster was looking at me. There was cameras on me. Yeah. And I was like, I feel so dumb right now, you know? And it's just like such a big imposter syndrome.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. I've felt that. I mean, like I remember going to like even yesterday I hung out with my friend Grace, and like when she greeted me, she was like, "Hola, ¿cómo estás?" Because she's Spanish.
Yeah.
And she said that. I was like, "Oh shit." I like completely forgot all my Spanish, and I stared at her.
But you spoke in Spanish today to the local worker.
Yeah, because I had like a second to like think about it, you know.
Yeah.
But like on the spot, she's like, "Oh, look, I'm
You're like, hey, I'm good."
A little shocked, a little scared.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but your Bangla's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's it like when you were like in Bangladesh? Or could people tell that like you were not from there? Like
honestly, the people that we hung out with and like my family, they're actually surprised that we knew Bangla. And that my Bangla was pretty good.
Yeah, talk about that.
Yeah, because I think there's a bad rep with Americans and just people in the West where people just assume that we are disconnected from our culture and like we don't know anything about our language or anything in general.
Yeah,
you know?
modernized.
We're very modernized. That's their intention, or like that's their thought process.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I started speaking in Bangla and I like understood what they were saying and I was able to like respond back pretty like fluently, they were just shocked, you know, because they were also saying how like the kids in Bangladesh, most of them do know Bangla, but there are a lot of schools in Bangladesh now and like other countries where they just implement English and they force you to like just speak in English in the school. So a lot of them start losing their own like mother tongue language, you know?
Yeah.
So they were like, oh, look, there's a lot of kids here that are losing the Bangla side of them. Like, it's very interesting that you still retained it and you grew up in New York, you know, in America. So it's very interesting.
Yeah,
you know?
that reminds me of like a lot of different people that I met in Bangladesh. I met one of my cousin's friends, and like for the first 20 minutes, I like didn't say anything because I just like didn't know what they were talking about.
Yeah.
And then he finally asked me like in English. He was like, was like, hi, like, well, and he barely knew any English. He was like, oh, like, how are you? And like I started talking Bangla. He was like, he's like, I mean, jai nahi tum Bangla bolte paro, like, I know you can speak Bangla.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, sorry, I just get, you know, a little shy.
Yeah.
But yeah, like a lot
But
of them assume that you don't even know Bangla.
I feel like you learned a lot more.
Yeah, I got a lot better. But like from the
Bangladesh.
beginning of Bangladesh to the end, I was like, yeah, I'm ready. I live here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like when you were growing up, do you have any like specific memories about learning Bangla or like the culture in your household or in your community that stick out to you? Of like Bengali culture?
I mean, you know this, not a lot, honestly. I have one aunt in my family who was always very, very, you know, strict and like very Bengali, like very Muslim, very Bengali, and she was always like an influence on me to like continue speaking Bangla. And I remember like growing up, whenever I would go see her, I always get really shy talking to her because I know she was very like punctual and literal, and you know her Bangla is like perfect, and she speaks like Bangla, like your aunt, like Bangla, like where like I can like I don't know what they're saying a lot of time. Like I met her aunt recently, and like I was talking to her, and she talks so fast, and
the thing is,
Bangla.
The thing is, it wasn't even fast. Like in comparison to how fast she actually talks, she made it slow down for him, and he still wasn't able to catch up.
And she was like, oh, what village is your mom from, right? And I said the village, and then she was like, oh, so
basically my aunt asked him what village is your mom from. He answered, and then she asked like, oh, what area in the village is she from? But he took that as, where is this village located? So he answered in that way when she wasn't asking that at all. So then it was just like a miscommunication type of thing.
Yeah, and then when she like looked at like you were your mom. She's like, oh, Bujane. I was like, I did. I'm sorry, I got a little shy. But yeah, you know, when it comes to like the talking fast, like I try my best to catch on, and I really want to get a lot better at Bangla.
Yeah,
you know,
but you have been. But I think that's the thing. Like, since you are more in like New York now, Queens now, and you're more around like my family and your family, like you're getting accustomed to the Bangla, you know, like actual Shuddho quick Bangla, and that's forcing you to like,
especially with your mom, where she be tested me.
Yeah, my mom really be testing
and
him.
It's like I have to close my eyes and like just try to like keep up and stuff.
Yeah, but I feel like that's a good like wake up call to have.
Yeah,
because the thing is, my mom is going very slow for you, but also on top of that,
no way that's slow.
Yeah, she's going very slow for you.
Impossible.
And also, like you're not even at this stage yet, but like my mom and like my aunt, they have like this sign language, code language with Bangla, where they just start talking in like, you know, like Morse code. So then once you're like on that level, then you're like invincible.
And Bangla is so like,
there's so many different dialects.
It's not even the dialects, it's like it's so much about like the tone and like how you say things. Like something could either be like extremely serious or like they're being sarcastic and joking, and like there's like the smallest line in between. You just have to hear out for like how they say stuff. But like how do you feel like you are like nowadays? Like do you feel like you improved a lot in Bangladesh, or like living around here, you know, you moved to Long Island, like you're out here now, like how you feel like it is nowadays?
I feel like my Bangla has improved a lot. Like I can kind of code switch a little bit quicker now, and I think I got used to a little bit more like talking to specific family members. Like for example, with my mom, I speak kind of like English Banglish, whereas with my dad, I speak more Bangla. And I think having that sort of, I guess, rule, like mental rule in my head has forced me to like not take an easy way out. Like especially with my dad, obviously he understands English, like he was here from the 80s, but I'm like more accustomed to speaking to him in Bangla, and that forces me to like think a second longer to actually think of like the translation for the Bangla word, and it forces me to like actually follow through with it, you know? And I'm also trying to get my baby cousins to learn more Bangla and speak in it more, and they're actually learning to read and write the language, which is really good to know, because my aunt is like implementing that in them.
That's good.
And so I try to, you know, translate more things in Bangla for them, you know.
Do you ever want to try to learn how to read and write it again?
I think at this point, like, it has always been on my New Year's resolutions like goals list for the past like 3 years at least. But I don't know. It's not like a priority for me. But I definitely do want my like kids to learn it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I definitely want to put them in classes. Thankfully, you know, like I have my parents that they can go to and just have like that actual communal like language acquisition. I feel like that's like the biggest thing when you have family around you, and like if you're watching shows and listening to music, that actually forces you to learn the language. You know?
Yeah, like I'll be a lot of time I'll be like listening to songs and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'll realize, or like TV shows or like the Bangla news, like when I'll be like back home in Atlanta, my mom just has it on, and I'll realize I don't know a lot of what they're saying.
Yeah.
And I wonder why that is, because like maybe there's just like a whole world of like vocabulary that just like wasn't spoken in my house or whatever. That's probably what it is. But like, yeah, like I don't like that feeling. Like when I tune into like any sort of media or music or whatever, I just like don't understand. Like it's, or like a movie or something, like I'll catch them and be like, damn, like why don't I know what they're saying? You know, like I don't like that feeling. So I guess like how do we get better? How do we like expand our knowledge?
You should listen to more Bangla music.
Yeah.
I've been telling you to do that. You know I love my Bangla music.
Drop some artists for me, yo.
Yeah, Habib. We got Habib. We got SS Titul.
Titul?
I think that's Titul or Tatul or something.
Titul, like the
tamarind.
like for the
tamarind.
Tamarind
we got you know Runa Laila.
Right.
Sabina Yasmin. All the classics, you know.
That's a good name.
Yeah, but what are your goals to like pass on this language? Because I don't want Bangla to die. I made this like hot take comment that people were very mad about, where I said that Bangla is kind of a dying language, and I didn't mean it to say like, oh, there aren't millions of people speaking it. But again, what I mentioned before of my friend in Bangladesh who is saying that there are kids in Bangladesh that don't know Bangla because they're forced to learn English in schools, and then they bring that home, obviously. And then there are also kids here in the US who aren't taught Bangla, especially like your type of story. Thankfully your parents did speak it and you learned like the basics, but if they didn't, you kind of would have just lived on without knowing Bangla, you know.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were mad at me when I said that comment, and that's not me saying like, oh, our ancestors fought in a whole genocide for nothing. I'm not saying that. But also on top of that, we can't deny the fact that like since the language isn't like as popular in some areas, like where you grew up in Orlando when you first moved there are some places where it's not like as heavy and popular, you know.
Yeah, it's like one of the responses that we got on our Instagram, like they said that they didn't learn a lot of Bangla because like their parents just always want them to teach or learn English because that would give you like the highest chances of success and opportunities like in your life. Like if you maybe like their thought process was like if you give any mind to like, you know, not try to make your English as like punctual and proper as possible, like that's gonna be like your biggest key to like, you know, succeeding in like a modern America or like the West or whatever. And I get that. And I think that's kind of how my mom was feeling, you know, because growing up, whenever I like wrote an essay or like I always performed really good when it came to like writing essays or any sort of like writing assignment, and my mom was always really proud of that.
Yeah.
And maybe that's like a underlying factor. Maybe it's because like she wanted my language, like my English language, to be strong.
Yeah.
And she's always been really proud of it, you know. So
they want to like set you up for success.
Yeah.
With just like knowing English.
Because it's true. It's like if you are good speaking and, you know, have good vocabulary, like that is like a hidden kind of skill. Like that can get you really, really far. Like
yeah. Isn't it so interesting? I feel like even in American schools and like Western schools back in the day, it was kind of encouraged that you are perfected in English, and like they didn't care that much that you knew other languages. Like it was kind of like go to ESL or ELA to be good in English, you know, like don't really speak your other languages in the school, you know. But now I feel like in public schools especially, it's kind of encouraged to have like your multicultural side and like speak your different languages, you know.
Because depending on like what job you're getting to, like a lot of jobs really value you speaking two languages. My last job, you know, I worked with so many people in Bangladesh. Like I had a big portfolio of clients, and a majority of my clients were in Bangladesh. And a big like when I first got the job, I was like very unqualified for the job, but one of the assets that I had the ability to speak Bangla, and there was nobody that speaks Bangla in the company, so they matched me with a lot of like the Bengali speakers.
You stood apart from them, huh?
No, deadass. Like, and it's like, it's true, and like I kind of bullshitted them, told them that I had like professional Bangla, like I didn't. And you know, it's really funny because
that's like me with Arabic.
It's not funny at all. I like when I would get on calls with like a lot of my Bengali clients, like a lot of them would ask me like, oh, like Bangla Butapara, and I was like, yeah, I'm Bustapari, but it's a lot easier for me to just speak in English and you know, use all the technical terminology like in English. But that was my excuse for just like not wanting to speak Bangla, because like I always felt, it just goes back to what I said in the beginning, like I just always felt like shy and embarrassed of it, and like especially talking to like grown ass men who are born and raised in Bangladesh, like I can't compete with you. You know, so like I always told them like, oh, I understand what you say, like you can speak in Bangla, and they would speak Bangla, and it would make like while they're speaking Bangla, it would make me really happy. Because even though like I wasn't talking back in Bangla, like I know that meant a lot for them. So it goes back to when it comes to like what, like depending on what type of job you're getting into, like, you know, if you grew up Hispanic and like your Spanish is like not that great, like like knowing Spanish in America is such a valuable asset, you know, like, and you're miles ahead of anybody if like you grew up speaking that, and like maybe you just got like touch up on some stuff. Like, yeah, man, speaking languages right now is
hola,
so
mi amo mo.
Mi amo mo. That's so funny. Mi amo mo. Hola, me llamo
un café con leche, por favor. Yeah, you like that one?
That was kind of nice. I didn't know you had that one. I didn't know you had that one. You're ready for Florida now. You're ready for Kissimmee.
It's so funny because like, so he has a Bangla necklace on, right? A Bangla necklace on. It says my name on it. It's so funny because like you would have your client meetings with your Bengali your clients,
literally,
and they would just be like,
yeah.
Mahuake.
You know how like Bengali people are like mad personal?
Yeah.
Like, oh, Mahuake, tomar boya.
Yeah. That's why my mom would always be like, yeah, don't wear your name necklace to Jackson Heights.
Yeah.
Or anywhere in Bangladesh because they know too much about you.
Yeah, man, Bengali people are funny, bro.
Yeah.
I love.
They're out of pocket sometimes.
I love the Bangla language, man.
But I love like the feeling of comfortability. Would they feel when they know that it's like a Bengali person? They're like, oh, it's like homey. Like they feel like they can open up more. It's just, you know, it's like that connectedness. That
I didn't tell you this, but when like last couple events I went to and we started hanging out with like your Bengali friends. Yeah, I really liked it.
You really liked it? I really liked it.
She has this group of like 7-8 Bengali friends.
Well, I have more than that. But I have like this a specific group. Yeah.
And she invited me to hang out with them. And I really liked it because, like, you know, even if they're not, like, if whatever, they'll speak Bangla with each other and, like, that's cool. But it's, like, just, like, being around, like, Bengali people and, like, being like, oh, like, you guys, I can, like, say something about my house when I was 7 and, like, you guys would, like, understand.
Isn't it, like, a breath of, like, fresh air?
Yeah. And, like, I was talking to one of your friends about how, like, growing up, like, you know, he knows a bunch of, like, the TV shows and movies and songs and whatever. Yeah. And I was telling him, I was like, yeah, man, like, I didn't really know a lot of this, blah, blah. And, like, it felt nice saying that to someone who, like, you know, has my background because, like, you know, it just made me feel, like, more, like, heard. And, yeah, it was nice. You know,
welcome
so, like,
to Queens, New York.
Yeah.
To my
it's
friend
nice
group.
out here. It's nice out here.
So, like, what are your feelings on knowing Bangla or, like, attempting your best at learning Bangla and speaking it in America? But obviously you have an American accent. Like, you can't say the exact form of the word in the tonality of like Shuddhu Bangla, right? Like appropriate Bangla.
Nah, my Bangla's perfect.
Okay, shut the hell up. Can I ask a question or no? I don't know why you brought in like Islam, but anyway. But what are your thoughts on other people criticizing that and calling you whitewashed and like hating on you? Because I've gotten so many disgusting insults where it makes me not want to like post anything about like my Bengali side, where people hate on me because I attempt to speak in Bangla as an American.
We are not whitewashed, okay? Because we know whitewashed people. Yeah. And we're not that, okay? I understand that I also know people, and I'm sure that, like, you've seen people on social media that are, like, you know, from New York or from London or, like, you know, from the Western world, but have absolutely perfect Bangla and like know like the history to the T, and like they like have really done the work, you know, so much more work than we've done. to an extent, I get what they're saying, because like I think for a while, like for like the last couple of years, when like I started like personally becoming a lot more proud of my identity, I think I got in my own head a little bit, and I thought like, oh, like, yeah, I'm Bengali. But then like I would have to remind myself and see people that have done so much work, so much more work into their identity, and just like learning about all facets of it, to where like I had to calm down and be like, all right, like I really don't know as much as like I thought I did. But I think it's like calling us whitewash. I think like making fun of it a little bit, like okay, whatever. But I think like calling us whitewashed, and like, you know, I know we did a couple episodes about Bangladesh in the past, and I think there was some feedback where they were like, oh, like they sound very whitewashed, or they sound very like Americanized. It's like, obviously we're very Americanized. We are American, right. But it's like we're trying our best, and you know, trying your best is never gonna get highlighted. It's just they're gonna take you at face value and be like, oh, who are you today, and not the fact that like you're trying to learn more about like your Bangladeshi side or whatever. Yeah. But I think the fact that like we live and we breathe it, we're so proud of it, and we're so proud of like the not like chai tea like stuff too. Yeah. Like we're proud of so much more, and we're like there's depth to it. We're actively doing the work, and like all of her clothing is inspired by traditional Bengali embroidery, and like, you know, I've been trying to read a lot more Bengali poetry and take inspiration from that, and like we're in the process of doing the work. So like I won't get offended. I'll listen to an extent of like, okay, like just use it as a reminder. But when people are like attacking you, calling you like whitewash, and saying like, oh, like it gets annoying. It's the internet. Like no one would say that in real life, but like there are real whitewash people, and like we're not that. But like nobody's gonna recognize you on the journey of like trying to get better.
And I think it sucks the most, because like if you are trying your hardest to be closer to your culture and like speak the language or anything in general, and then there are people that just see that video as they just take it as face value, and they just see you trying, but that means you're failing in their eyes, and they're like criticizing you for that. I feel like it makes you more reluctant to like not try again, or like attempt, you know? And it's like, who are you to like come at someone for trying their best to like learn about their background, you know? I don't know. I feel like we as a society have to be like so much better with like being more encouraging and like accepting, instead of being such big haters.
But it's also it
really is our own community.
It's the internet. I get it, because like I imagine like if I was scrolling on TikTok and I saw a boy or girl speaking Bangla and like their Bangla sucks, like why would I go to the comments and tell their Bangla sucks? Right. Why would you do that? Right. Because I think like anyone who is speaking Bangla and it sucks, they know it's not that good, or they know that. But
they're putting they're doing out
it.
There.
So like, why would you make fun? That makes me think of like my clients again. Like whenever I did speak Bangla, they never made fun of me. Yeah. You know, like they always encouraged me, and like I would always preface by saying like, oh, like I'm a Bangla at ball now, like, you know, my Bangla's not that good. And they would always be like, no, it's fine, like you're good, like I get it, blah blah blah. And it's like real people, real life are never gonna criticize you for that. So like, yeah, man, like if I understand, like
broken
we're not great
Bangla
at
is
it,
better
but, like,
than no Bangla at
it's
all.
cool, bro. Yes, like let people try to get better at their language. You know, like nobody is perfect at Bangla. If you are American, there's no way you have perfect Bangla. Yeah. Or, you know, we're talking about Bengali people, but any sort of brown people, you know, like have some empathy for like the people that are like just trying to get better at your language. You should be trying to get better too.
Yeah. So. And at the end of the day, we're multilingual. You know, we know English, Bangla.
Yeah, they can't say that.
Yeah, Spanish.
Those people can't say that.
Yeah,
we can. Feel me? How many languages do you speak? Yeah,
just English and Bangla.
No, you got one more.
Spanish. I
don't know about that.
What's the other one?
I was gonna say Gupanese. you know how like you.
Is he funny today or something?
Okay. Do you still hate me? Like
today he goes, how come we don't call each other goop anymore?
I don't say that today.
All right.
That was yesterday. Relax.
Okay. That was literally today.
Yeah. Anyways, I mean, like, yeah. Final thoughts. Like, how, like, where do we go from here? Like, how do I get better at this? How do I get better?
That's just Allah this point. For you, it's just Allah
have to pray. Like, Allah, please make me better.
Just your reminder: broken Bangla, broken any language is better than not trying at all. At least you're putting yourself out there and like actively trying to fix your speech and learning. So do it even if it's scary, because that's how you actually learn, you know?
Yeah. And try to teach your friends too, you know, like teaching is teaching someone is a great way to teach yourself.
Or like watching a Netflix show like in that language with English subtitles.
That shit never works for me.
All right, no one asked about you.
Okay.
But like the other day I was like actively trying to go into my Spanish like local coffee shop, and I was trying to practice in my head like, oh my god, how do I order a coffee in just like Spanish, you know? And I tried my best.
No, tell them how it went. Like you went in and like you didn't speak any Spanish.
Yeah, like that was the first try, but then the second try I recorded it.
The recording you showed me, you spoke no Spanish.
No.
So there's another recording.
Maybe there's another one then. What's the issue? You have anything to say or no?
I miss Bangladesh, man. I was talking about this yesterday.
I know.
I really miss it, bro.
I need to go back.
I will soon.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
So, as you guys know, we ask you guys on our Instagram
about
our recent topic, and then you guys sent in your responses.
Yeah,
you know?
a lot of them.
So
Thanks.
this time around, we asked you, you know, what is your experience with learning your language? Did you guys take classes? Have you had challenges speaking it at home, or are you fluent? How do you want to pass it on to the next generation? And we got a lot of responses on this one, huh? A lot of you wanted to share your personal stories on this
Thanks.
one. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. That's what we do it for.
Yeah. It's really nice to like know that we're a little safe space for you guys, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's so nice that like you have to probably think about a response to a question that we ask every single week.
Right.
And then you're like, oh, let me actually send it in and see if it like relates to someone else.
Yeah.
And like talk about my story a little bit, you know?
Yeah, like
so
I
cute.
wish I had difficultish growing up, you know.
Yeah.
But I didn't, so
we're difficultish.
I became difficultish. Tie shit.
We're gonna have a few responses because I feel like there are similar stories, there are different stories, and maybe you guys can take some inspo for, you know, your life or the next generation. Someone said, my grandparents lived with us from age 0 to 13, and I spoke Bangla with the strong Noakhali accent. I feel like it's very important to have the grandparents in the home because...
I'm so sorry. I like I don't know what happened. I like
you just
zoned out for 20 seconds.
Right.
Can you say that again?
They said, my grandparents lived with me from age 0 to 13, and I speak Bangla with a strong Noakhali accent now.
You know, I'm so sorry I didn't mention that. I had my nanu in my house.
What the hell? What the hell's wrong
But
with
like,
you literally said that she only spoke in Bangla.
Yeah, she only spoke in Bangla. I think she was like the only, like her and like my mom. I spoke like Banglish to my mom, but like it was especially my nana that
you just
like,
gotta call your nana.
I didn't even
often.
I didn't even like talk to her much because like her Bangla was like obviously Bangla.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But didn't that force you to like learn more?
It didn't force me to learn more. I honestly just said the same things
just
every
like
day.
What? Kaiso.
Yeah.
Like, did you eat? How are you? That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, you were young though. How old were you?
6, 7.
Yeah, I mean, you were young. What else would you have to say?
Yeah.
Someone said, my mom had a Bangla school in our little 2-bedroom apartment growing up. That's so cute. So cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. That's like seeing that your mom is teaching it, you're learning it that way.
Yeah.
And then seeing all the kids learning it together.
Like
it's like a little community.
I like that.
You know?
That's how you're gonna be.
No.
Nice.
What am I gonna be teaching?
Bangla to kids.
I'm learning myself. Someone said, I wasn't taught Bangla at home, but started taking lessons once I got a job that required me to work directly with colleagues in Bangladesh. Learning more of the language fostered the strongest connection to Bengali culture I've ever felt.
Yeah.
I love that. That's kind of like your story.
That's how I should have gone about it. She's probably like more down to speak Bangla with people than I was. But yeah, man, like if any of you ever get the opportunity to speak with people work-wise from people that come from your country, it's a great opportunity to practice your language more. And like you know, adults are more than like I imagine like if I was adult in Bangladesh and I met someone in America that was like trying to speak more Bangla, like, you know, like I would love to help you know, that person. So yeah, man, if you ever are given that opportunity, absolutely, that's a beautiful opportunity.
Someone said, I get clowned on for looking at videos to be better at speaking Bangla. Don't let people clown you, because guess what?
They don't know nothing.
I do the same.
Know nothing.
I'm on Instagram Reels. looking at cat videos of them just talking in Bangla with a low voiceover. I look at different Bengali, Bangla cinema or Nato clips. That's how I learn. And it's like funny at the end of the day. I'm ha-ha-hee-heeing at the end of the day, and I'm learning a language,
Yeah.
That's like a love language.
Don't let that stop you.
I just send my mom some like Instagram reels in like Bangla. She's laughing. I'm laughing. I made her happy. I'm making myself happy.
Right.
And
also, like it makes going back to your home country so much more fun.
Yeah.
Like so much more fun. Like that's like I think of like going to like Latin American countries, and like the biggest fear is always going to be the language, because like I don't speak great Spanish. But it's like, I know when I'm fluent, like that makes you want to go so much more. So like whatever your background is, like it'll make you want to go back so much.
Someone said, I attended classes for a long time. Now I teach at the school myself. The main challenge is a lack of exposure. Compared to English, our languages don't have the mainstream media, public signage, social circles don't revolve around our languages. And this lack of exposure makes it hard to learn. I actually agree with that, specifically with Bangla. I feel like our time hasn't come yet in mainstream media. Like, for example, Punjabi music is such a big thing. Spanish music is like a trendy thing right now, right? But Bangla music is not like a big thing, right? Like, people watch Bollywood movies, even if you're not from India. People don't really watch Bangla movies. People don't really go out of their way to listen to Bangla music. I was that friend where I was like, actually, I have a Bangla song to recommend in the car.
Right.
No one wanted to listen to my goddamn Bangla song, right?
It's just Diljit.
It's just Diljit Dosanjh. It's just like, Bad Bunny. But it's like, at the end of the day, unfortunately, you have to be that person for especially Bangla to go out of your way to learn it and like bring it to your friend group. Same thing with like Nepali music or Nepali culture. It's same thing with, like an underrepresented type of culture, like we can't wait around for it to come to mainstream Western media, because then, we're going to be waiting around forever. It feels like we have to be that person to make that move ourselves.
Yeah.
Someone said, I had no language lessons, so my Bangla is rusty. My confidence shoots up when I speak to my mom. So I'd say my sility is passable if I speak to my mom. Otherwise, confidence wanes with outsiders. My parents didn't have much of an education growing up, so it was hard for them to teach it to me. It felt like the people outside my family were discouraging and made fun of how I said things, which means my Bangla is not great when speaking to others. Plus, as an immigrant family, knowing English as a child is vital for helping with paperwork. So true. So my parents pushed for me to know Bangla. For the next generation, I definitely watch more Bangla TV and film content with English subtitles.
And this is crazy, man. Like, we don't gotta get into this, but it's like, like in like the first week of school, you would get, all your papers from school, especially like elementary school, and like you would bring them to like your parents, and like they just like wouldn't know what any of it is.
Yeah, relatable. #relatable.
It's just crazy, man. It's crazy, and it's like, the crazy part is like, you compare it to like John or Jimmy and Billy
Jim.
And their parents are, reading it, putting on their glasses, reading it, understanding every single thing.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah. You gotta parent sometimes.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
But like as final thoughts, I feel like my responsibility as a Bangladeshi creator in this creator space.
Yeah, what is it?
And just being a Bangladeshi American person
is
trying to spread my culture in like more of a positive light. Like, for example, my new collection is, all my collections are inspired like by Bangladeshi textiles and fabrics and things like that. But on top of that, I want the names of the collection or the pieces to be also Bangla, so that not only does it make you feel more homey if you're a Bengali person looking at it, and like it forces you to kind of understand what the word is if you already know the word but haven't said it in a while, but also if you're not Bengali, to like kind of search it up yourself and figure out what it means. Like in my last collection, the Shapno collection, which means dream in Bangla, I made sure to also have the transliteration in Bangla next to it, so that you can see what it looks like in English, have the word in Bangla. And I don't know, just like small things like that, I feel like make you more cognizant of your culture, make you more proud of it. And obviously we also have like our little ways of passing it on in the next generation that is very important for us. But it's just very important for us to like do our part. That's why I like playing Bengali music in the house. I like, you cook your Bengali cuisine
That's one thing I've been
We
doing.
have our ways, you know?
That's been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about everything.
Yeah,
You snapped.
I know. As always.
That's good.
Yeah.
I want to retell the story of your aunt because I just think it was funny, but I'm gonna add the Bangla translation.
Oh, okay.
What she said, because I thought
Have
it
you
was
been
very
thinking
funny.
about this the whole time?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like,
You were
'cause
just
I've been
waiting for
thinking
your
about,
time.
like, what is it that she said, and it was so funny to me at the moment.
Was
But
it?
I
Because you
can't-
didn't laugh.
Yeah, because
You were
because I didn't want to laugh.
just
Right
traumatized.
because it was like what she did was funny. She was making fun of me.
Right,
but it was
right,
funny. She was just like
And she's so small. She's 4'10".
yeah, she's like 4'2". Like
You let her like come at you like that?
yeah. So she was like what village is your mom from? And I said Komila. And then she was like Komila, like real quick, Komila, which is like so like when I heard that I thought she was saying where is Komila?
So she said Komila Koi, right?
But she was asking.
Wait, let me do this like the specific. So when you say Komila Koi, Komila, right? That's the name of the village. It seems like you're asking where is Komila? Like where's that village, right? But she said Komilar with an R after Komilar.
But she said it so
Koi,
quick, you didn't even hear that.
Which actually means where in Komila is it located. But that's what I'm saying, like the intonation.
Komila. How do you expect me to segment what she's saying?
Right.
So I'm explaining like where Komila is in Bangla. She's like, oh, like it's like near Chittagong, blah blah. And then she's like looking at, she's like, oh, Bangla. I was like, yo, like I'm so sorry, like I didn't realize you were at. Yeah, she got me.
It's okay. She tried. You tried. You can speak in English next time.
That was such a bad first impression.
No, it wasn't.
I gotta get my game up.
Yeah.
I gotta get better at
We'll
this.
we'll
Back
practice
to
in
Bangladesh I go.
She's just living there.
Jackson Heights.
We'll practice
let's
in
go
Bangla.
spend the
at
night
home.
in Jackson Heights.
Yeah.
Just go walk around. Hey.
But sometimes me and you try, like, oh, let's have a whole day where we just speak in Bangla.
We never do that, but we should.
We try.
We should.
I try.
Yeah.
Let's not
I
say
think
we, okay?
Fast Bangla is the funniest shit ever.
Yeah.
Hi, Carlson.
No, it's so funny because it sounds like they're mad at you. Like it's fast Bangla, but on top of that, it's just like added anger.
Man,
you know?
that's how I want to get.
We should make a video, like let's a whole day of
episode
speaking,
in Bangla.
like a whole day of speaking in Bangla.
Maybe we'll do like an audio only. Like
you know how
just,
people do that, like oh, let's go on vacation. I speak the whole day in Spanish.
True.
A whole,
We
whole
gotta
day
do
in
that.
Bangla.
Y'all want to see a Bangla only episode?
Yeah.
With us illiterates.
Yeah.
We'll make that happen.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this episode.
Wait, no 10-second
we
advice?
have 10-second advice and we have an emoji. So
Hey, hey,
the 10-second advice for today is
yeah. So my 10-second advice is like have a grocery list that you like refer to, but like actually look at it and like double check again once you're at the store that you have like everything on the grocery list, even maybe things that you forgot to add. This man went to Target 4 times today. 4 times today. He got an item each time, and he was like, oh wait, I forgot something, let me go back. And that was actually the time he lost my card that was on the floor that I found. So no, I'm still mad.
My advice is if you have like any clothing that is like deteriorating and you just like want to hold on to it because like you've had it for a while, or like, you know, if there's just like a big rip down like your butt, like it's okay to let it go. Like it's okay. You don't have to keep it. I understand sentiment, memorabilia. I understand all these words. I'm a poet. But some things you have to.
It sounds like he's adding me now.
You have to let it go. Okay, that's
What have you been calling me?
What do you mean?
You've been calling me something.
We call her butt pants. Because, anyways, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the podcast.
What's an emoji?
For the emoji, I want to see the flag of your country, wherever you're from.
Yes, sir.
Drop that. Wherever the hell you're from.
Drop it.
Drop
We
that.
want to see how international you guys are. We
Facts.
better not just see Bangladesh flags.
No.
No Bangladesh flags.
Thank you guys so much for listening
We
to
love
the
you guys.
podcast. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and
Allah
bye.
Hafiz.
Bye.